What is up, Packer fans? Back again. I'm super excited. Finally back to some football talk, some football action. Obviously, the draft happened a couple weeks ago now, but I just wanted to kind of see some of the rookie interviews and kind of get to know these guys a little bit more before I did this introduction to the rookies video. I'm super excited about the draft picks the Packers got. I'm looking forward to getting to know these guys and watching them play, see how they progress this offseason, and see what they can do for the Packers this season. Now, percentages say most of these guys won't pan out in the NFL. A lot of them won't even make the team, some of the later draft picks, but percentages also say that there's going to be some diamonds in the rough in those later rounds, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round. And, we all know some of those higher round picks don't always pan out, but I'm excited about what the Packers did. Obviously, trading Aaron Rodgers before the draft was a huge part of this. They got a little extra pick. They moved up 2 spots in the first to that 13th pick. I thought maybe they'd trade back, get a guy they still want, and add some more picks, but they stuck with what they had. They had the 13th pick, the 42nd pick, and then that 45th pick, they did trade back to 48, and then again back to 50th, and still got their guy with the 50th pick. So I'm excited to see how these guys all work out for Green Bay. Jordan Love has some weapons now. Obviously, they're young. It's going to take some time to develop, but I think the pieces are there on the offensive side of the ball for Jordan Love. Obviously, it's going to come down to his progression and the offensive line blocking for him and getting things set up, the scheme that LaFleur sets up, all those things. But the players around him, if they can start progressing a little bit, these young guys, and obviously Doubs and Watson and Samari from last year, hopefully this Packers offense can be electric at some point in the season. So let's get it going here. We all know we had like 7 first-round picks with Kenny Clark and Rashawn Gary and Quay Walker and let's keep going. Eric Stokes, Jair Alexander, Darnell Savage, so we have all these first-round picks on this Packers defense, but they didn't do what they were supposed to really last year. They weren't very good last year. The offense took some time. The defense struggled, and the defense was good. The offense struggled. It was just not a lot of complementary football. And so for the Packers to add another first-round defensive player, defensive end, Lucas Van Ness out of Iowa, a guy that, we saw a little bit play when they played the Badgers this year, but a guy who never started for the Hawkeyes. He never actually started a game, but he had 13 and a half sacks or so in his career there. I think 8.5 last year. So he's a guy that can get to the quarterback and a guy that Packers are excited about. He wears number 90. He's 6'5", 269. So to put into perspective, Clay Matthews was about 6'3", 255. This guy's taller than Matthews, bigger than Matthews, more of like a TJ Watt type, not AJ Hawk, TJ Watt type body build. So I'm excited to see what he can do, if he can kind of progress early, if he can start and we get Rashawn Gary back. That ACL worries me for Gary. He's such an explosive player. He really needs to bend and lean on those knees and, to get that angle. So, and he's all explosiveness, that's basically his whole game is power and explosiveness. So hopefully we see him by around October. It might be November. Maybe they'll hold him out to the playoffs if that. It happened later in the season, so I know these guys can get back real quick. I know we've seen it before, but the surgeries are so much better nowadays. And everything they do is so much better, the training. But he's a big guy. It might take a little while, so I'm excited to see Gary get back. But hopefully Lucas Van Ness can really start getting after the quarterback early and often for the Packers. And then Preston Smith, we all know, will probably be, starting every game because he is Mr. Consistent on the defense for the Packers. So after that, though, Packers did go offense the next 3 picks in a row. Pretty cool to try to get some weapons for Jordan Love. They went Luke Musgrave, tight end, Oregon State, 6'6", 250 pounds. This guy's tall. He was projected as a day one starter, basically tight end in the NFL. Guys, whoever picked him would have a number 1 tight end, basically. This guy can really ball. There was like 4 or 5 tight ends at the top there that would basically be starting tight end caliber, and he was one of them. The Packers got him 6'6", 250 pounds. This guy's tall. He can really stretch the seam. It's really going to be nice to have a guy that can catch the ball, run after the catch, and just open up some of that middle of the field. I know Tonyan, coming off the ACL, just wasn't the same guy. He's in Chicago now. Packers didn't sign him. And after the draft now, because of what they did here, the Packers did not sign Mercedes Lewis now. So Mercedes Lewis is gone. He'll probably go to the Jets. Now that's Cobb, Lazard, and maybe Lewis. Malik Taylor even went to the Jets too. So, and then Billy Turner, that's why I got Turner. Billy Turner, the old tackle guard for Green Bay we got him from Denver. He went to the Jets too, so kind of crazy. But anyway, Luke Musgrave, tight end. This guy, I'm excited about. It's kind of like a TJ Hockenson type of like player, like just really consistent, just that kind of that ability, but hopefully not like, I don't know what went on with TJ, but just kind of, that kind of upside on the field at least. So then the Packers went speed at receiver. They got Jayden Reed, wide receiver, Michigan State. I saw this guy play the Badgers. I even said I didn't really like him against the Badgers. He was good. He was good. He was really good. He's fast. He can catch. He's a guy that I'm excited about. 6 foot, 190 pounds. This guy can get out there, be kind of that slot wide receiver 3, and really stretch the field as well. So with Watson and his speed, Doubs and his kind of possession attributes, and he's got some speed too, mixing him with Jayden Reed now, who can really stretch the field, and Samori Toure, who also has a lot of speed. These Packers are going speed for sure, and it's going to be exciting to watch because now with this next guy, the third-round pick, 78th overall, this next guy, Tucker Kraft, tight end out of the South Dakota State Jackrabbits. This guy's 6'5", 255 pounds too, but with him and Luke Musgrave, those are two tight ends you can line up. I'm not going to compare it to Aaron Gonzalez and or Aaron Hernandez, sorry, and Gronk, Rob Gronkowski, sorry. I didn't want to say his name wrong, and then I started thinking of it, and I was like, oh man, I don't even like talking about it really. So, all right, yeah, Aaron Hernandez and Rob Gronkowski, not kind of like that in the Patriots, but just having two tight ends. Like, this is like exactly what LaFleur is looking for. He wants to have two tight ends that can really stretch the field, down the seam and open up that field. So I'm excited to see what this guy Tucker Kraft can do. And of course, a cheese-related name, for the Packers. We have another one. Who was it? Colby Wooden, the defensive lineman, the 4th-round pick. We'll get to him next. But so kind of funny, these cheese-related names for Green Bay. But for Tucker Kraft, this is a big opportunity for him coming in as a later 3rd-round pick. He can definitely, Josiah DeGuara was a 3rd-round pick. He didn't really pan out. He's still on the squad. But these young guys are going to have an opportunity to play for sure, especially on the offensive side of the ball. The Packers even said we're going to start with these young guys and then see if we have to go to free agency after that. But that's a huge opportunity for Tucker Kraft to get on the field and start. And he has a great attitude. I liked what I heard from him. He's a guy that's going to go out there and just work really hard. So I'm excited to see what he can do. We still have Tyler Davis, but Packers don't really have tight ends. So Luke Musgrave comes in pretty much slated as a day 1 starter if he can show that he can play. So very cool. And I like what these, both guys are over 6'5" and can run, athletic, can catch. So very, very great picks for the Packers. Way to go, Goody. And then then we get to the defensive side of the ball a little more. The Packers have been rated after the draft, one of the most improved defensive lines in the league. So that's pretty cool to see after the Lucas Van Ness pick on the edge, and then getting this guy, Colby Wooden, 6'5", 284. He's a solid player. Didn't see him a whole lot at Auburn, but because it's just Auburn wasn't huge on the map last year, but he's a guy that's got a motor. He's going to work hard. He's got a really great attitude. I liked hearing him talk as well. So very exciting to see what he can do. And then here we go. Packers don't really have a quarterback behind Jordan Love. Danny Etling last year had that nice, 50-yard run in the preseason, but not a lot of throwing talent yet for him displayed. It's kind of, if Jordan Love got hurt, what would the Packers do? Maybe they have to get a veteran, definitely. But they did draft Sean Clifford out of Penn State, 6'2", 212 pounds. basically that Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers were both 6'2", about 220, 225. So, 6'2", 212. Jordan Love is actually 6'4". He's bigger than both of those guys. So Sean Clifford comes in. He's a dog at quarterback. He lifted Penn State to a bunch of victories and playing tough games and tough weather. And so I like what he brings to the table. I saw him do some rollout and throw on the run drills, and he looked really good. So pretty cool to get a guy that can back up. He could be the backup, and that'd be really exciting for a rookie to come in, especially a 5th-round pick to come in and back up Jordan Love day one. So we'll see what he can do. If not, Packers will have to probably go get a free agent quarterback. So we'll see what happens there. And then again, Packers going wide receiver again with Dontavian Wicks out of Virginia, the Virginia Cavaliers, 6'1", 208. This guy is just a really solid receiver. Didn't see him play a whole lot, but I saw some highlights and some footage, and I liked hearing him talk a little bit too. He seems like a guy that he knows that there's opportunity out there right now. He knows that with the fact that, Lazard's gone, Cobb's gone, they really only have Watson and Dobbs, and both of those guys are still young. There's a lot of opportunity right here to go out there and try to get some playing time and get on the field, and so that's exciting to hear from a young guy. So then now the Packers went back to defensive line again with Carl Brooks, defensive tackle, 6'4", 295 pounds, just a big body. Don't really know a whole lot about him. He's out of Bowling Green, but he's another solid inside guy for Green Bay. Just bolster that defensive line. You got to be able to rotate guys in. Give Kenny Clark a break. Give Rashawn Gary a break when he gets back. Hopefully give some of these other guys a break. We don't have, Jaron Reed's gone. We don't have Dean Lowry's gone now too. So Packers are looking. They have T.J. Slayton still, and so they're going to be looking for some beef in the middle, and it's going to be open pretty much behind Kenny Clark. I know Packers do want to have a good rotation and really get after the quarterback. Try to bolster this defense this year. This defense just did not live up to expectations last year. So then after that, Packers drafted a kicker for the first time since Mason Crosby, 6th round, 207th overall. Anders Carlson, the kicker out of Auburn as well. So he's 6'5", 215 pounds. That's a big kicker. So this guy's he's got a leg for sure. I've seen him kick, so it comes down to accuracy issues. Can he keep it in between the uprights? Packers, I don't know if Crosby's technically signed back yet, so maybe they want to see what Anders can do and then sign Mason if they have to, but we'll see. Packers really, really leaning towards going younger. It's a rebuild, but it's more of a refresh, I think, because there's a lot of the core pieces still. Bakhtiari, Preston Smith, Kenny Clark, Jair Alexander. So there's a lot of the core still, and Elkin Jenkins, So this offensive line and the defense could really be the cornerstones of this team, and then let these young guys kind of develop around that. So pretty cool to see. And then the Packers did go corner, Carrington Valentine. I saw him. When I was doing mock drafts, I kept seeing that name because it's kind of an interesting name, Carrington Valentine. So I looked him up, and he was pretty impressive for the Kentucky Wildcats. Obviously, he's playing up against better competition in most of the SEC than his team, but 6 foot, 194 pounds. He really went after it against guys, and he's a guy that looks like he will at least push for, maybe being that nickel or maybe being at least the 4th or 5th corner on this team. So we'll see what he can do. That's a 7th-round pick, so it's kind of a long shot, but you can see some flashes of talent there for sure. Then the Packers went running back with Lou Nichols, Central Michigan, 5'11", 222 pounds. This guy is shifty and quick and does have some power behind him at 222. So we'll see. A 7th-rounder. Packers do have A.J. Dillon and they do have Aaron Jones, but people are talking like, okay, they're probably going to get off of maybe one or both of these guys next year, and there's room for somebody to kind of step in, and not anybody has really came and taken that 3rd running back spot yet. Patrick Taylor had little flashes here and there, but no one's really solidified themselves as that third running back yet. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there with Lou Nichols. And then Packers went corner again with Anthony Johnson, DB. That's an interesting pickup. 6 foot, 207 pounds out of Iowa State. We'll see what he can do. But my favorite 7th-round pick of them all is the last one, 256th overall, Grant Dubose, wide receiver out of the Charlotte 49ers, 6'3", 200 pounds. This guy can flat out ball. I saw him catch it from like around a guy in some of the highlights for the touchdown. You know, he's playing against kind of lower level competition most of the time, but he went out there and absolutely balled out. He was tough to tackle, tough to bring down, ran crisp routes, and really can catch very well. So I'm excited to see what he can do. Packers did go out there and get some undrafted free agents. There's a guy, oh, I forgot his name now. I wish I had it off the top of my head. But he had some issues off the field. He went to Florida, and then he went, I think he was with Clemson, or I think it was Clemson, but he got discharged from both of those teams, but he definitely showed flashes of talent, and he's a guy to look forward to. I'm going to find out his name and bring him up next time. But Packers 2023 draft over with. These guys all really have a chance to make the roster just because of where the Packers are at. You know, it's really going to come down to the best players. It's not going to come down to Aaron Rodgers' best buddies or anything. It's going to come down to the best players, and the Packers are going to be able to solidify the roster that way. Packers got some weapons for Jordan Love. They stacked some pieces to the defense, some special teams pieces, and so we will see what happens. It's super exciting. You know, OTAs, rookie mini camps, all these things, training camps coming up this summer will be super exciting to watch this Packers team grow, and I'm excited to see what Jordan Love can do as QB1 of the Green Bay Packers. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Peace out, guys. Go Pack Go. See you next time.